Check, check. This thing on? Oh, it is on. That's right. The stream is starting. Well, if that's the case, I should probably switch to my face. Hello. Welcome. Holy crap. Where are we at? Well, guess what? We're in my new office. Or our new office. Me and my wife's new office. Right here in our house. If you look back here, there's all our board games and whatnot. Here. I have a nice new light too I can play with. I'm not going to show you everything, but that's half of everything. Ooh, that light's bright. Okay. Well, today is going to be a little bit different than normal. Today, instead of more so doing some D&D stuff, we're just going to appreciate some nerd culture and watch a movie from, I think it's from 2012. There are two documentaries I was choosing between. There's both are on Amazon. One is called Eye of the Beholder. It's about artwork from Dungeons and Dragons, dating all the way back and having a lot of really cool stuff in it. Yes, this is very soothing music. Caveman and I were playing Call of Duty yesterday, and we won a game, which is always nice. Always nice. And I don't want to say that my back hurts from carrying the team because it's the opposite situation. But yes, those are amazing shelves, and they took not nearly as long as I thought that they would take. They were infuriating at first because they were hard to plan out, but in the end, it worked out pretty fine, because now I have these beautiful, amazing shelves that I can store all my board games on, and now we have tons of room. Tons of room. Share on my stream on my Instagram. I don't know if I want to do that because today we're going to just be watching a movie. It's an hour and a half long, and I don't know. What am I supposed to point the camera towards the screen and let them watch it that way? But you guys get to watch along with me, and I'm just gonna make weird comments and stuff about it. If you're not already, please follow. That way I can one day become a Twitch affiliate and start making money on the Twitch program. That way I can start doing giveaways. And speaking of which, I'm working with another Instagram page who makes Dungeons and Dragons related pins, who said that if we can get enough purchases, 10 purchases on his store, that we'll be able to do a giveaway of his pins, which will be fun to do. Otherwise, I have this cool shirt. Let me bring up my camera so I can see what I'm looking at here. This cool shirt that I made. This is that Quest with the Best. And it has my logo on the back. Thanks to Cuts of Joey for that one. But otherwise, why kill more time? Why not start watching this movie? It looks kind of funny. So first, let's do this first. I'm going to show you the if I could type. I'm going to show you the trailer for this goofy looking movie first. Let's pause the music. I'm going to bring this over here. We'll skip this ad. Who wants to watch ads? Not me. That's right. Should probably show you what I'm looking at here. Let's jump to it. Do the old switcheroo. Whoop! Here we are. I'm going to turn it up so you can hear it. That was the opposite of turning it up.
Oh, I can't. I'm looking at a camera right now.
adjust your TVs accordingly, because I don't know how it's going to work on yours. At first it looks like your everyday political thing, but then this happens.
My name is Elizabeth Reisman.
Richard Meeks.
Borderline blackface.
And I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
These are. Look how old those dice are. They're so worn out.
Within my campaign,
If I don't kill you by midnight, I haven't done my job.
There's a very big
He's a
difference in
dick.
balance of power between males and females. His kind.
She's a sexist.
You're an elf, right?
They're both
Men
doing
don't have
blackface.
Most dragons can speak common.
what is that?
It's the common language which I'm speaking now.
See, that sounds goofy to somebody who doesn't play Dungeons and Dragons, but to somebody who plays Dungeons and Dragons, this kid actually makes sense. In a way, he explains it weirdly, but yes, it does make sense.
I'm rolling 14 dice. Oh, Jesus.
14 is a lot. 14 d10. Potential of 140 damage.
Sensitive to toxic mold.
Relationships for me are interesting. The best way I can put it is that I am a drama attractor.
Also next month, there is going to be a lifestyle assessment survey expected.
Lifestyle assessment.
A friend of mine said, "Would you be interested in going to see the Mr. and Ms. Nude Universe contest?" And I said, "What the hell are you talking about?"
More on that later. Oh,
Falling
goodness.
is not a skill. Falling so that you don't hurt yourself is a skill.
Dexterous falling, yes. Acrobatics. It's got awards and stuff. Who cares? It's about Dungeons and Dragons. It looks goofy. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Why? Why is he half naked indeed? Let's find out. Let's find out together. Oh no, I closed my thing. That's okay. I'll just bring it up again. Do. Ah, there it is. I found it. Why is he naked indeed? So this is the first time I've done this. First time I've done a stream party. Which I don't even know what that means. Hopefully Amazon doesn't make us watch ads, but who cares? They'll be short if they are. There we go. Select title. Start watch party. Looks like it's loading up. Here we go. Looks like it's loading up. It's definitely for mature audiences. So I don't know. Oh, it's got 3 stars, guys. Let's see. There is nudity in this and some strong sexual content. That is why we will see. Oh boy. This looks like it's gonna be funny. Oh, grab a snack and hit the lights.
In order to overcome them. Make them more interesting. What decisions does that character make? Does a fighter pull out his sword and start swinging? Does the Space Ranger try and find some technical way past his difficulty? And then imagine the consequences. Is there even a vague chance of stopping by like a McDonald's?
Go in theater mode here. I want to make sure that this is... I did not pre-screen this. We're going in fully blind. Is it showing up fine on your guys' end? Hold up, I'll be right back. Make sure. Okay, so it looks like Watch Party is not for mobile. So what we'll do here is I will throw it up on the screen, and then I'll hide this, and we'll just watch it like this.
It's that same thing.
Do I need to rewind it?
You 2 and 6 people.
I don't even know how.
One person
Doesn't matter.
is the game master. He creates the world that you all exist in. And then everyone else makes a character.
That's a cool mini.
Steps into that character.
That's a cool guy.
Greetings. I am Dananthos Salenthus, an elf from the forested glades of New.
He doesn't look like an elf.
Flat out, I'm a con man, a swindler, and a thief.
By way of introduction, I've never been able to stand elves.
If you've ever been to a board game convention, this is 100% what it's like.
I'm sorry. So I made a character named Grishnak Elfslayer, who was a troll. He thought he was a troll. He was actually a dwarf that had been raised by a family of trolls.
Ah. Complicated. That's a monk. Those are some druids.
Try and talk like that character, make decisions like that character would make them, determine actions that the character is performing.
He swore
Those men were Roman.
revenge upon the elves, which was really just an excuse to, kill other people at the table, kind of.
That's rude.
The things with the 2 heads. And oh, and the smell.
I would just sell them elf insurance. You know, if you die, I don't eat your corpse. You know, that kind of stuff.
So when he takes his wonderful dive, I'll be standing there smelling like roses. At which point, I become the Prince of Indianapolis.
Oopsie.
World that the characters exist in. He is the person who lays out the plot. He controls all the people that the characters meet, interact with, shoot, stab, or befriend.
Oh, goodness.
In that order, is the overriding arbiter of the rules. And if you've got a really dedicated game master, games can last for up to a decade.
They sure do.
Elven thief mage. Be prepared to suffer the consequences.
This is in Milwaukee.
Goes, all this wonderful crunching sound and stands up and they walk in. Do you follow or not?
My name is Richard Meek.
That is the face of a decision maker.
I GM first and second Dungeons and Dragons.
Early editions. The more complicated editions.
And as a GM, I play everything.
That's 3.5 there.
Creature that there is within the game.
I hit you once and do 1 point of damage and you lose a level. I'm not cheating, it's out here. I don't cheat. There's no point to it. That is a double critical.
Some GM, some game.
That's always a good feeling as Dungeon Master.
I make the rules. I make the rules, and the players know that. I don't flaunt that. I don't have to.
13 points, lose a level.
I have been playing since about
He's harsh.
79. For about 9 years in Florida. I played with the same group of 6 or 7 friends. They had characters that they had lovingly developed over 7 years worth of playing. We broke up because of a really bad experience they had in one of my games. I killed them all. And they were stuck in a room knee deep in gold. And I was just really mad that they were being so greedy. And out of the 8 or 9 around the
I get
table,
that.
they all jumped through the door. It's just that it was not a door, it was a sphere of annihilation. And I said, okay, you've all jumped into the door.
It's looking like we have some technical difficulties on the TV side. All I can see is a black screen. Oh yeah, looks like when I hit play, it just goes black. Can you at least hear it? Oh, that's so depressing. What? How is this a watch party if you can't watch it? That doesn't make sense. So you have to watch it on your computer. Oh, frustration sets in. Well, I'm glad you can hear it. Let's see if I can figure out a way to fix this. Try refreshing my dashboard. This light gets kind of hot on me. Oh, getting sweaty. Good thing I got this water. You don't mind technical difficulties, do you? All right. It's looking like the screen is still black. Hmm. Obviously some sort of copyright thing. We'll see here. Best quality. Subtitles. I'll turn those on just because I like subtitles. I'm sorry if you don't.
Fingers and have a man executed.
I don't. Why did that just happen? All right. This is not up to date. Users. Collapse. Clip. Start casting. Oh, it is working. Fantastic. Now, how do I rewind? I don't know if I can. I just say we hit continue and keep going with it. Hopefully we didn't lose too much.
So that's the very basics of it. Once the game master describes what the characters see and hear, then the players declare their actions.
It's looking like it's still not working. Yeah. Streaming is not easy. I don't know who told you it was, but it is definitely not. Oh, you know what? When I hit pause, it's still playing. That's why. Because if you're watching this on your laptop, it is still playing. And me pausing it has no effect on you. And that's why I've missed a couple minutes. Well, I do not know how to fix this issue. Well, we'll keep playing and see how it keeps going.
Number of monkeys. And the teacher went around the class, asked us if there was anything that we preferred to be called. As things went around, the only thing in my mind was that I would be able to forge a new social identity all at once, not be the gawky, geeky kid that everybody had known at the other school where I wasn't liked very much.
Poor guy.
So when she called my name,
Clearly bullied.
I replied, "My name is Scott Coram, but you can call me Sherlock." And my social life didn't recover for a very long time. He wanted a super team. You were the only guys he could get, and
That's kind of rude.
Really big on explaining why he's a brain in a jar. Kids would find my phone number to prank call Sherlock at night. I was the butt of all the jokes. It was perfectly okay to kick my ass because that was the funniest ass to kick. If everything else hadn't have been bad enough, my folks had a wonderful idea, and that was to get me a big old briefcase.
A big old
Mr.
briefcase.
Seven sent everyone else to Tokyo. The reason you think this is because Tokyo is currently on fire. I had no concept of myself as a competent or capable human being. I locked myself in my room. I'd have classical music blasting out of my headphones and nothing but my own mind for entertainment and company. I really did just go into my head a little too deeply.
I'm so upset that I missed this drow girl and her story. All those Pokemon cards and Panini Dragon Ball Z cards and that seems kind of fun. They're all the basic cards that nobody wants anyway. So they use them to make a cool little tower and then knock them down. It's a waste of resources, if you ask me. But who's asking me? Nobody. I'm asking me. I'm talking to myself. Part 2, Expedition into the Outlands.
Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful Sunday. I pray, Lord Father God, that you'll just speak to each and every one of our friends here today. And I pray that you'll just bless this offering that we give unto you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Hi, Solera.
Hi, Ernie. My dad told me I had to clean my room. I mean, if I leave it long enough, my dad will probably clean up my room for me, won't he?
That's not the point, kids.
It's Captain Scripture!
Captain Scripture.
The puppet ministry. It was interesting. I liked puppets. I'd studied a little ventriloquism
this guy
before.
again.
I'm not a good ventriloquist, but I can move my hand okay.
Ernie, Solara, you know that you should do what your parents tell you to, but there's more to it than that.
What more could there be?
What more could there be?
A puppet ministry is a ministry. It's a group that puts themselves together for the purpose of using puppets to tell biblical stories. I joined this group as a puppeteer, worked on developing my arm strength so I could keep my arm up for longer and longer periods of time, and developing the very large skill set
Sounds
necessary
complicated.
to perform puppetry. I have worked on my skills as a puppeteer so much that some of my exercises I even do in my sleep. And according to reports, the puppet hand I have will turn and look at people.
Who's reporting this? What does he mean by according to reports? Does everybody on this movie have some sort of mental issue?
I'll try to do financial advising, but you need to have money to make money at that, and I don't. I'm a trained hypnotherapist and can find no work doing that. I'm sitting on top of $50,000 in educational loans that aren't going to pay.
Classic American story.
It's been one disaster after the other. So now I'm an author. I'm writing a modern day fantasy adventure is what I've been calling it. I've been writing for years. This is my first really concerted effort at a novel. I do have a full-time job. It's apartment manager. But if I could be anything I wanted to be, I'd be a professional paid game master.
Which is becoming more and more of a reality nowadays.
Game-related characters or things to be encountered in games. That is Mark Duquesne. He's very good at making friends in high places, and he doesn't know the meaning of the word quit. The first character that I actually developed, Draculius, was a D&D character. He had a charisma stat, a presence that was just unbelievable. There are some things I think are basic to all the characters I play, some things I want all the characters to have. They would need to be able to defend themselves. They need to be able to look cool doing what they're doing, no matter what they're doing. If there's a common thread, it's style. I've found a lot of different ways to do that, and I try and find a diversity way, but that's what really runs through the middle of it. It's style.
Style.
Hey.
Looks like his son or something is in the room.
Okay.
For all you
Found the
people who
chain.
can't see. The chain.
It's the chain to my chain machine. It looks like this.
Attached to a snorkel. Anna and Andrew
At this
Quorum.
point in time, we are one car family.
Looks like he's making fish
Income has
sticks
not been
and
great. Hopefully,
corn
my
dogs.
writing and my storytelling will find a way to deal with that. And like I said, being the manager here is a full-time job.
Well, no, it's a part-time position.
Well, it's a part-time position, but
It can be a full-time job
But-
if you make it.
but it pays for where we live.
And it's
Oh.
been very good.
Yeah.
Seems not happy about that.
The footsteps of her pursuers echoed through the underground complex, reminding her that her time was short. It had started out so simply. She hadn't expected two men who were completely impervious to bullets to follow her inside. She slammed the empty clip home in the butt of her pistol and slid the gun into her fashionable leather holster. Lisa knew that without a miracle, she was going to die. If I finished my book in 3 months, I will be disappointed with myself. That would take a little long. If I do it in 2 months, I'm a little bit ahead of the curve. If I do it in a month, I'm a god. So of course I'm shooting to get it done in a month.
He's got a complex.
A spacefaring ship was coming through this part of the universe, and they found a magical place. There are a lot of gems, the highest powered magic items. And that's just the way it is. It's my world. Yes, I may throw up roadblocks. I may throw death, destruction, traps, poison, and monsters. Things like furbolgs, black puddings, aspies. The Aspie has
I thought he said Aspies.
a hierarchy. They have an intelligence of their own, but they still fight
I
as
see.
a group. So if the player characters run into a couple of Aspies, maybe they didn't get a chance to signal the rest of them. Maybe they did. You know, the Aspies didn't get a chance to signal their friends or, you know, their fellow Aspies. But essentially, it's really the players that determine what is going on. I'm just the guy that's making sure that it's fun while they're there. A Nathalshi demon with the capabilities of an 11th level mage.
Ouch. Going against 9th level party?
Yeah.
You want to kill him, don't you? Yeah, okay.
It's only a couple things I gotta figure out on this, and the rest of it's cake. Well, not cake. It'll be shit cake.
They found some interesting characters to represent people who are dungeon masters. At least this one looks somewhat successful. Jubilee.
Oh, see, what do I need? Figurines, dice, my laser pointer. I'll definitely need more D6.
Tomb of Annihilation.
Fireballs. I lived in Florida for 16 years, and my gamers and I played once a week. But I made an agreement with my wife that I wouldn't game any more than once a month.
When we got together, I knew that he had played games, and I knew that he had played them often, but I had no concept that these people were just playing characters and playing out a storyline, which, I don't know, seems a little strange to me, but, you know.
She's rude.
I'd try and kind of hang
I don't
and
like
watch
her.
some of it, and I was just so bored.
To
My
each his
current
own.
wife, Karen,
He's probably
doesn't
just a boring
understand
dungeon
it at all.
master.
She doesn't have to.
That's not surprising. Her name is
One of the
Karen.
things that we do separately.
I also participate in, how do I explain this?
Oh, here comes the nude part. Good thing it's black on your screen.
A friend of mine said, would you be interested in going to see the Mr. and Ms. Nude Universe contest? And I said, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like 20, 21 years old at the time. They traipse all of these really great looking men and women across the stage, and there's the basic story of how I became a nudist. It's natural. By all means, if you want to flaunt it, okay. I got no problem with it.
How did they find
So
these
what time are you
people?
killing the whole party?
I'll let them suffer long enough till about dinner.
Get
And
all
then I'll-
relaxed
And then I'll
calm.
kill them all.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking.
Sounds like a psychopath.
Straight, straight, keep it straight, straight.
There is a walled compound on top of a hill. This walled compound is made of brick and stone. You see a whole bunch of children carrying spears and short swords rushing out into the center of the compound. What do you do now?
The moral dilemma of killing children.
Come on, they're kids. What are we talking, like a half a hit die?
Well, considering the fact that the creature that they worship is now standing among them, oh, it's nasty. I'll roll off to see if I came out first. Why? Because if I don't kill you by midnight, I haven't.
I'm gonna say no.
2. Oh, shit. I missed.
Yes.
But if I really wanted to, I could kill any of you. And I know that.
I don't know how to spell mobile. It's okay. Just missing an eye. Feedback submitted. Oh, those pillows are disgusting. Oh, it's from all their black paint.
Drow are described as having obsidian-colored skin. What I use is a mixture of black, white, purple, and blue, and silver for a slight metallic hint. It took me about 2 years of experimenting.
I don't
First
see
time
the
I ever got
metallic
full
hint
makeup,
she's
I
talking
thought
about.
that actually fully making myself up as a dark elf was the stupidest thing I had ever heard of. I itched all over. I was miserable. I told myself I would never, ever, 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 ever do anything even remotely similar to this ever again. Oh my god, it wasn't gonna happen. Until next month. I live just a few blocks in from the beach down on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. We actually were pretty lucky during Hurricane Katrina. I ended up riding out the hurricane an hour north of Hattiesburg at my grandfather's house. And when you
So that dungeon master obviously was putting them in a moral conundrum where children who worshipped some sort of creature attacked them, and they had to decide if they were going to fight the children or not.
They just weren't even there anymore.
And as a dungeon master, before you play, you have to set aside your players and say, like, what is against the rules, what is not, because situations like that can come up.
Going back to work.
So if somebody says, hey, you're not allowed to kill children in your game, you have to respect that.
Get my head back on straight. I spend pretty much,
Which I feel like is like a basic rule.
I'm not asleep online via MSN Messenger and in-game on World of Warcraft.
Of course, she plays WoW.
Who plays Dungeons and Dragons also plays World of Warcraft.
Wrong. Incorrect. That's you assuming.
The best version I've found of a traditional D&D type role-playing game. That's just where most of my social life takes place. Relationships for me are interesting. The best way I can put it is that I am a drama attractor. I tend to not date very well.
I wonder why that is.
I've been in and out of different relationships over the past 2 or 3 years. The guy that I was with up until just very recently, we had to break it off because all he wanted to do was play World of Warcraft. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry, my guild's raiding Molten Core. Oh, I got a raid at Blackrock Depths that I can't get out of. When your geek girlfriend says that your geekdom is going just a little bit too far, it's probably an indication that the relationship is not going to work out. It's a problem that will continue to repeat itself, I'm pretty sure, until I find somebody that's intelligent enough. Since I was about 10 years old, my biggest fear is that I'm going to end up all alone with 100 cats.
Not the worst fate. Oh no.
Don't put your foot there, Yoko. Time to wake up.
He seems quite lazy.
Friday the 11th, I finished the rough draft of my book. I finished it at 40 chapters, 600 some odd pages, 183,000 some odd words, and turned it over to the fiercest editor that I know.
I was very excited by
It's his dad.
By his first draft. I thought it was a really creative and imaginative piece of work.
I don't have a shop for it yet, but there is a literary agent who is willing to chat with me about the process.
Hey.
Hello, how are you?
I am fine, thank you.
I'm an agent for the Ashley Grayson Literary Agency. Probably my best-known client right now is Andrew Fox, who wrote The Fat White Vampire Blues. I'm also the agent for Ed Fitch, who's a very prominent local pagan elder. So.
Wow. So, I gave you a sample and a synopsis.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
This is like watching real life Napoleon Dynamite.
I wasn't quite sure where I was in this story. I didn't know if it was supposed to be realistic. I thought, this story can be told in a much shorter book. It was too many adjectives. Now, here's the problem. First-time novelists generally have a very hard time getting an agent. But I gave it to one of our readers who is a retired professor. She read 6 or 7 pages and she said, buy it. The people who love the Da Vinci Code will love it. And that's when I fell out of my chair.
That was supposed to be a joke.
Okay, you've made the first cut. we are ready to see the completed novel.
Okay.
And we want people who promote themselves, go out there, do book signings, go on talk shows. They not only want you to be, nowadays, a great writer, they want you to be a movie star.
Okay.
That was so awkward.
Publishers are apparently interested in how good of a presence you are as far as marketing your book. Now I started to think, you live in Torrance. They'll give you a cable access show. All you got to do is show up and ask for one.
So every one of you can become producers here very easily, and this station carries fantastic programming, including Senior Scene.
I had people who had editing experience, people who have fight choreography experience. Now I started to think, you should do a show.
Hello, Denise. It's Scott. This is the treatment for Uncle Drax's Magical Clubhouse. They seem to really want the show to happen over at Torrance Cable.
Old school.
The overall concept of the program is
Monitor
a
really
failed
messes with the
supervillain
camera.
hosts a cable access show. Scott Coram will be featured as Uncle Drac with an intro segment explaining his repeated failures as a supervillain and his realization that he was meant to be a cable access show host all along. At the midpoint of each show, the host is attacked by ninjas.
He's creative.
This is heavier than the padded ones.
Just make a running list of what we need for the props, because I have to get a bag together of everything. Yeah. Scott feels like he's family to me. It was just 6 degrees of separation. We had always been not too far from each other. At one point in time, my husband said, well, I'm in this gaming group. I don't know if they're going to be good with a new person coming in. And I met Scott.
Don't eat that!
We kind of clicked, and we just got to know each other and got to be working together.
He's the life of the party, looks like.
I love this woman. I could not do this job without her. That's obvious now.
We'll look at each other and we finish each other's sentences. You know, he's
Wow,
my best
how
friend.
romantic. I'm assuming his child is hitting him with a pool noodle.
Hun?
Christmas
Can we,
wrapping paper out.
Spare $20 at Payless sometime soon? I mean, these shoes are falling apart.
I guess so. I tend to be the do the workaholic stuff. I manage the building with him helping on occasion, opening up doors and stuff, what he can.
And if something needs to happen while I'm here and you're at the office, I am here and you're at the office.
Right.
He's a manipulator.
I'm pushing you to do a couple hours a day, every day.
And to be your taxi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, making it her fault.
Hello, this is Scott. Hello, Denise. Denise has reviewed it. The book is good and salvageable, but it contains huge amounts of information that nobody cares the slightest bit about. I decided I was going to take 3 or 4 days to be emotionally crushed and then get past that and
The life of an author. Sure.
My greatest fears, I fear that I will never produce a piece of art that anyone will feel like putting down some money for. I fear that my book will fail, that no one is ever
Can't worry about stuff like
going
that.
to compensate me for any of it.
Who cares? You're already in the position that you're in, you know? Dixie. I recently watched a video on how water tanks work.
I know who I deal with.
As do I.
Ah, we got some LARP action going on here.
That's expected. LARP stands for live action role playing. LARPing is pretty much D&D. The stats are close to the same. The spells are close to the same. You have pretty much have the same kind of weapons. They have these little tiny packets filled with birdseed, and you throw them, and it acts like you're casting a spell. It's live action D&D.
Ay, ay, ay.
You played cops and robbers when you were kids, you were LARPing. When you were playing dress up with your mom's clothes, you were LARPing. When you were hiding them from your mom after you wore them, you were LARPing and learning how to lie, which is a great LARP skill.
Feel free to continue your disrespect in public.
No problem. I'll see you on the battlefield.
9. Watch your back.
Always do.
She's good. She's a good singer.
I'm dead outside right now. There's at least 4 of them.
You're dead? Excellent. Go hydrate. I am monster marshaling. What I'm doing is the players that come up to me, I tell them, here, you are this kind of monster, go out and go do damage. If anyone asks what you are, tell them that you're a leopard, but skeletal. What are my spells again? Go be an undead. And when they do attack, you beat them down like the snot-ass punks that they're being because they're breaking the truce.
Yeah.
Have you come to monster for me, honey? I like to screw with the other players' heads as much as I like killing them, so. Jake, what kind of nasty, nasty critter do you want to play for me?
Black Diablo Rogue with a little celestial column in there. Liz really gets into the games. She puts a lot of time and effort and a lot of her personal feelings behind the games that she DMs. She makes up intricate backstories for each of her characters. Like, there's not a character inside any of her games that's not
She cares.
well thought out and has a multi-layer personality. She has a broad and very active imagination, and it really shows in her games.
She clearly enjoys it.
Last job I worked really screwed me up as far as school and everything else. I have always said I'd rather work for a small company than for the man or the corporate sector or whatever, just because I've always thought, you know, maybe there's a little bit more honor in it or whatever. But last job I worked, working at an art gallery of all things. My boss had tried to get me to sleep with him.
Oh.
I'm actually going, you know what? I want
That's
to work
illegal.
for a real corporation. I don't care if they're a soulless, you know, entity. I'll work for freaking Walmart. I've been flying pretty much everywhere, but anywhere that'll take me, really.
There are a lot of people who live like this. It's unfortunate. Sherbet ice cream. Some soda. What is that? Sprite? Oh, she's making a punch.
This is a milder version of my punch.
Throwing in some sun-kissed type pop. A weird wooden spoon. And some high C. Hawaiian punch. the whole crew's there. They're watching the ball drop. Man, that was different this year, huh? She gonna kiss this boy next to her? She did. Kissed him right on the side of the head. Record crowd this year, that's for sure. Record low. I'm sorry, that was bad. Beautiful mountain. That's a cool shot. I'm proud of whoever got that shot. It's clearly that goofy DM with the mustache. Yep. There he is.
Good morning. I just have a couple points I want to highlight. Suicide prevention briefing is no longer a mass briefing. Let's not be a statistic.
Also next month, there's going to be a lifestyle assessment survey conducted, mandatory, expect about an hour and a half.
I joined when I was 18. I was active duty for 2.5 years. Now I'm a active reserve, which means I do 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks during the summer. Originally, I was a bomb loader. Now I'm a fuel systems technician. I saw the military as an opportunity to get out of my parents' house. I was looking to go any place other than Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is Christmas of '64, so that means I was 1.5 years old. 3 generations of our family have been Lutheran. My parents were divorced when I was 5. My stepfather was sometimes abusive and also an alcoholic.
That's
By
sad.
the time I got to be like 12 years old, I moved over to my dad's house due to a court order. At 18, I left home. There really wasn't much of a relationship with either of my parents after that point. I wanted to escape the general reality of how horrible things were. I don't really remember all the details.
Sounds like he's blocking it out.
Uniform for gaming, a white
There's always like
t-shirt,
bad news
a Hawaiian shirt,
in the background.
khaki shorts. I will take a bathing suit because it is Florida and God only knows my players will try to throw me in the water somewhere. I had a group of players in Florida. I had been the GM. I killed every member of the party because somebody got stupid and decided to just run through a door. Yeah, I basically didn't really have an ending to my campaign. I just kind of left.
That's depressing.
Which is why I want to do this last hurrah game. I really want to be able to say, this is the end of this campaign. The familiar streets of the river quarter are still just as narrow and grimy as they've always been. Thick with the smells of river water and the wet dirt from recent rains, and the stink of a large population living and sweating in close proximity. The problem is this: I'm hurt severely, so you're left basically on your own without any guards.
I'm a 5th level dwarf. I was the one who led into the infamous Sphere Annihilation campaign. Spent hours with divination spells to find out which exit is the correct exit to go through. And none of them worked.
I says, you didn't try the doors. You didn't test it with a pole. You didn't test it with a sword.
So he's like, okay, let's just guess. Pick one.
You didn't bother to possibly lose a pinky finger. Oh, gee, it ate my finger. Now what? Okay, we can't go in this door.
And everybody kept on following.
It sounds like he just wanted his players to play the way he wanted.
Bye-bye. Start over.
Oh, I'm still pissed to this day.
Yeah.
'Cause you
I'd be
never
pissed
replace
too.
Your first original character.
Well, that's wrong.
Brian! Holy shit! My God, I didn't think you were gonna make it.
Richard is a very entertaining game master. He's got a real knack of making the player characters feel like they've accomplished something in some way. You know, he'll always come at you with, "Oh, I've got you now. You've fallen into my trap."
Next.
I don't know that we ever necessarily felt that we were in any real danger, but it was entertaining for us that Richard would appear to think so.
79. You killed it. You saved Greyhawk from being overrun by hordes of creatures. You've done a very fine job. When I left the state of Florida,
I didn't really say goodbye to many people at all.
I'm not really good on goodbyes. Goodbyes are kind of difficult for me, so I'm trying to get a little bit of closure. Yikes. Hi, how are ya?
So, you're the big firefighter.
Oh, no. So how long were you down for?
Till Sunday afternoon, but I wanted to come up and see you and see how you were doing. I was gonna go to the house, but and by the way, I wanted to say thank you for the Father's Day card.
Oh, okay.
So.
Is that his son?
When I was about 22, I met a woman, married her when I was 27. She had children, and I helped her raise those children. But rather than, making a big thing about leaving, I thought, I'll just pack up and take off.
So when I left, I told my now ex-wife that she was going to drive me to the airport. She said, fine. I got out of the car, took my keys. I said, I hope you have your keys because I'm taking mine with me. And she said yes. And I walked into the airport and left. Probably not fair, but it's the way it went.
You still growing?
No.
Somebody put bricks on your head finally?
No.
You're what, 6'4" now?
No, 6'2".
This is Aaron. From the time he was 4 until the time he was 19, we kind of did everything together. We were two peas in a pod. We were almost inseparable for a long time. Other than that, I'm just glad you're not still mad.
He didn't say that. He looked at him like he was still mad.
But I got bumped to here.
Oh, somebody else got yours, huh? Oh.
Gotta go.
Go.
See you later.
Go. It's a long time. I'm glad he had a call. I was having a hard time leaving. I kept wanting to go, and I kept thinking, no, maybe not. Maybe not.
His craft is welding. It's a Call of Cthulhu stat sheet. Part 4, The Darkest Night. I have a feeling this guy's book is not going to do well.
When you sort them out all over again, it's like you got all new dice. So once a year, I'll get them sorted out by number of side and by style or color.
I do love me some dice.
You lose dice constantly. Sometimes they'll roll under a couch. Sometimes your dice will be bad and you have to punish them. I've had a large number of dice that have ended up in swimming pools, flushed down the toilet. Or if you're really, really angry at your dice, you take it, you dip it in some water, put it in the freezer for about an hour or two. 2 hours would be bad.
That's so rude.
Line up all
I mean, I get that they're
so that
dice.
They can see that one, then you get a hammer. And you smash the one really, really bad dice. It's just going to shatter. Then you tell your other dice, see, that's what happens when you're bad. Basically, it's reaffirming connection with them.
To each his own, I guess.
You like to have your hands on the things that guide your luck.
Hello.
Hello, there's my baby.
It's a great, big, heavy baby.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How long is it now?
565 pages, I believe.
Ah!
Sorry.
I thought you were going to cut it down.
I did cut it down.
Ah!
She's a horrible agent.
Okay.
Every time that news is on in the background, it's very, very negative. Talks about Muslims or terrorists.
Preliminary practice of the swordsmanship techniques for Uncle Drax match with Clubhouse.
It's very upsetting.
5, 4, 3.
The production value is insane.
Sparking so you cannot look at the light. Sparking. Or not.
Oh, yeah. Sparking. Oh, wow. Ah, crap. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I've seen the fighting and stuff that he's done. Usually when you hit somebody, they're within a few inches of being hit. When they're a foot away, it's hard to say that they actually know what they're doing.
So supportive. Ninja shoot.
The rehearsals will show me what I can and can't expect from the people that I've got with me. And they have actually expanded. You know, Mikey is 10 times better at falling now than when we started the rehearsals. Falling is not a skill. Falling so that you don't hurt yourself is a skill. I really feel on top of the process. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Is that his dad?
This cannot make me look like a fucking idiot.
The same stuff that Rudy Giuliani used in his hair, I'm assuming. Uh-oh.
Oh my. Yeah, it's getting really black.
Ow, hang on. Okay, stop. One thing I don't want you guys to work on this morning is power and proper swings. Because I don't want you swinging hard and powerful when we're doing this. It's not sparring, it's choreography. Keep control. Okay?
He's a
That's all
director.
there is to it.
He can't afford
What we needed to get down is the Ninja Kebab.
$40 or $20 for shoes, but he's able to make this ninja movie.
Okay, you guys masked up?
Hello, brother. I guess I don't have to type it. Hey, brother. How are you?
I do not know.
Watching this goofy documentary about dungeon masters. That is not a proper mask for COVID. Good thing this was in like 2012 when this movie was made. Ooh, they were arguing about something.
Wrong, but I also knew I hadn't done a damn thing wrong. Someone believed that I had deliberately wronged him. This someone and I have a long history of
I'm frozen?
stepping on each other's toes. But
the screen is probably black if you're watching on your phone and not on a desktop or laptop because I'm sharing it through Amazon's screen share service.
led to tension that we just didn't need because filming a day of stage combat is tense enough.
So I read the first 100 pages.
Okay.
I think it's really, really good. I think that you managed to clear up whatever problems I had mentioned to you before. I had a meeting set up with the acquisitions editor from Del Rey, and I said, well, I have this new author, you know, he's a game master. I told him a little bit about With a Single Wish Forever, female protagonist, ancient warlords that are the source of all magic.
Refreshed it, so hopefully it fixes it.
And he said, we're looking for good mass market paperbacks, but we want series. I was immediately thinking, 3-book deal, 3-book deal.
I'll
you
take
know,
that.
let's
I'll do
chant
it.
this and maybe it'll happen. So I'm going to finish reading it, probably ask for some revisions, and we'll go from there.
I am exceptionally pleased. I have the best agent in the world.
I wouldn't say that. You gotta be positive, though. Those are some wicked headphones. Looks like I'm moving again. That's nice. Maybe not. I can't tell. So, you live and you learn. I'm gonna watch this documentary. I'm already way too invested.
We probably decided to move in together back in early November. Believe it or not, despite the bad experience I've had before, I've not had any hesitation about anything with Jake. He is a desktop developer, computer engineer. I feel like with him, we seem like we found somebody that's perfectly matched for each other. I wouldn't like any of you to be left to the tender mercies of the Crinty.
Let's go.
I can make sure that the secret stays good.
He's a good guy, though. Oh, me.
You know what a Gaius is? See, it's a spell that ensures that you do what you say that you're going to do, and if you don't, it causes permanent injury and or death to you. Why don't you come with me?
She's, as far as I can tell, she's actually really good DM.
The decision to move in together was more of a job's over and she was moving to Hattiesburg for school next semester.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's hard to find a place to stay like that.
And we really don't mind each other, so...
Yeah.
I mean,
the past 2 years, I was living with the person I was dating. And even after we broke up, we were still fine together, so... As long as they're both mature, it's fine, even if we end up breaking up.
which I doubt.
Someone's jealous. She clearly wants a boyfriend.
I'm not exactly 100% good, but I strive to be. But my ex-husband will tell anybody who will listen that I was just a horrible person. The very basics of my marriage was I was 19, I got stupid and eloped with him, and 9 months later I left him. He occasionally comes out of the woodwork to cause problems for me, even though it's been years since we were married. I mean, I was a dumb kid when we got married, like straight out of high school practically. He is one of those people that has a really, really wonderful charisma. But if you get to know the person behind who that is, he's violent. He cracked my skull open here. He
That's
headbutted
not
me
good.
one night because
Yeah, you do not need to be in that
I came home
relationship.
late from work. And he
Because she
proceeded
came
to
home
just
late.
kick the shit out of me all the way around the living room.
That is somebody
And
with some
then
issues.
It just deteriorated even worse than it had been before we got married. And I was sitting there going, actually, I'm kind of glad I miscarried because I wouldn't want to have a kid in this.
That's so sad. Very
I
tragic.
didn't realize it until after I got pregnant, but he was trying to get me pregnant. At a certain point, I wasn't interested in having sex with him anymore, but I had to anyway because I didn't really have much of a choice. When I came up pregnant, he was like, we have to get married now. The only reason I agreed to it was mostly I knew that I was not capable of raising a kid on my own. I miscarried the day after we got married, and
Damn.
I think that's when I made my decision that I won't ever actually have to rely on anybody. Period.
Just goes to show you that everybody has a story, you know? Very depressing.
Imagine the absolute worst possible thing that could ever happen to you, and it is happening not only to you, but to everyone that you know, to all of your friends, and everyone that you have ever loved, all at the same time.
Okay, that's bad. I am going to...
Go ahead, do it. I dare you. He's not on his last dying breath asking for God.
No, he's on the mission for God.
He's on a mission for God, praying. He's on a mission for God, standing there saying, oh God, please forgive me. Please come and help me because I need your help now. Oh gee, I'm standing here praying instead of doing something to prove that you're a paladin.
What the hell am I gonna do? Jump off the 30-foot tower?
Climb the 30-foot tower, go down and kill something. Use the character. This is your opportunity. You want God? Bring it down. But you gotta have a reason. Get out there and do something.
It's a constant battle.
Yeah, you said that. You're begging for mercy. We're actually on God's word. 1.5% chance it happened. Yeah, that's shady Archer. How much water do you need? This is called Save Our Butt. Go help. I don't have an invisible ring. Someone wouldn't sell one in town. That's not my
He's clearly... I don't know if he's frustrated or enjoying the fact that his players are
Subject for the record.
talking so much.
The end is just a little
metagaming.
harder when brought about by friends. Dear friends and fellow gamers, on Sunday afternoon, I found myself wondering, why isn't gaming fun for me anymore? You should have listened to yourselves, griping, complaining, bitching, moaning, arguing with
He
me,
is a nihilist.
quote, the GM has the final say, unquote. But you were all my friends. This will now end. There are terrible issues at foot, and some of you have threatened to quit if I
Sad.
don't do something about a certain set of players. Well, folks, I'm about to do something drastic. My game, and yes, I mean my monthly campaign.
He wrote a breakup letter.
I have invited you all to participate in.
Been there.
Is over. No, there is no discussion. No, there will be no retraction. And no, you cannot convince me otherwise. Over.
He's pretty set in
Done.
stone.
Ended now.
I hope I'm not as extreme as this guy.
Somehow I must have failed you all, and I'm sorry. May your swords stay sharp and your wits stay sharper until we meet again.
Surprisingly mature way to go about that. So we're back to the author, and he's got a ridiculous mask.
Anna, who is in the process of clearing things out of our storage area, brought back some boxes that were completely full of mildew and black mold, and got black mold scattered throughout the entire apartment. I'm a little sensitive
That's so depressing.
to toxic mold, but I had to keep working at my computer.
Oh my goodness.
And
He's literally putting his life at risk.
away at it. Yeah, I've got a very
I hope his child isn't still in this apartment.
I need to be as done with it as I can possibly get by that time.
He said his goal was to have it done in 1 month.
Today on Uncle Drack's Magical Clubhouse food segment, we're going to be making quick and easy chicken Kiev. Little bundles of buttery love. Chicken breast, cut side up.
This guy's all over the place. He's got a cooking show too.
Of plastic wrap. And Jordan's mighty hammer fell down upon his head.
It's a pan. It works. You don't need a fancy hammer. Seems like he's taking his frustrations out on this chicken breast.
Buttery love. Oh, it's going to be special.
A buttery, flaky crust. Flaky, buttery crust. They're vacuuming up the black mold. His wife is vacuuming up the black mold. Very important phone call, seems like. This very much gives me flashbacks of my childhood. Uh-oh, he's got some bad news.
And Denise was very honest and candid with how she felt about my book, and it was
She always is.
not positive. The word hate was used.
Oh, wow.
And it looks like she is going to have a difficulty representing the book.
Well, you either got to change the book or find a different agent.
It really came out of the blue.
Ah, not for me, but also the edited version, I guess.
I don't understand some of it. It's a year
Cool
of
Marvel
my life,
comic
more
behind
year
him.
of my life. It's like 2 years of my life spent putting this thing together and fine-tuning
I thought it was only going to be in a month.
and writing it and rewriting it, and I want to burn all my copies of the work. I want to make it go away.
I get his
I don't
frustration,
wanna
but
ever look at it again until
you
I
just
don't
gotta
like it.
get up and
I do
move
not
on.
foresee a time in which I will not want to be a writer. Right now, I just don't want to be anything.
The depression hits hard. Yeah, he's clearly sad. So we're rounding up the last 17 minutes of this movie. I'm assuming about 5 or 6 of it is credits, which ironically is the same exact amount of time the credits take in on the WandaVision series.
Moved to Pensacola. Jake and I have split.
Web design, good for her.
When I moved to Pensacola, he didn't want to go with, and there were a lot of other things. So We called it quits.
I see why she does draw blackface. Because her skin is not the best, and I feel like she sees it as like a flaw of hers.
So I ended up going with him, and I ended up running into another person that played the LARP, who does web design.
When I
Oh.
first met Liz, you know,
She's
was
got a
there
new
playing,
boyfriend.
at the LARP game, which was, you know, fun. It was interesting. She and I.
He's
were
also in
talking
blackface.
and asked her to come in for an interview, and that was really about it.
I managed to get the job that I have wanted my entire professional life, I guess.
You know, Liz has a very animated spirit about gaming, and she thinks about it in more than just hack and slash mode. So that was an appealing trait. You know, you don't see a lot of that in a lot of gamers. You know, you really got to find a special kind of gamer to really see the thorough mentality.
Every guy that I've ever dated has liked me for my hobbies, what I do, the fact that I know comic books, the fact that I am willing to dress up like a dark elf, the fact that I can quote D&D rules. Most guys don't date me for me, they date me for what I do. And they don't really care about
Is
whether
that
or not I
not
can
dating you
think
for you? I don't
or
understand.
talk with them or philosophize with them or whatever. I don't care about that. It's a lot nicer to be around people that actually care about who you are. I don't want to date children anymore. I just want to be happy.
Good for you. She's the most positive outcome out of any of these stories so far.
Right away, within probably about 10 minutes, I'd say, I got a response from one of my gamers that was like, well, you know, you need some help with those shrubs. You give me a call and I'll come over and help you.
That's
Other
nice.
than that, I really didn't get a whole lot of responses back from the 8 or 9 players.
I mean,
got
what do you
4
expect them to do?
responses. And it's difficult. You know, I know Joshua is running my players through a scenario, and that's okay.
I don't like how he
That's
calls
okay.
them his
I
players.
just, it's funny that the conversations that he and I have been about his game and his players. I have given him
That is
ideas
frustrating.
that he's using in his campaign. A considerable length of time. Hang on. It might be Joshua calling me. It is. Hello? Yeah, where are you? You're on the 520? We're going to start dinner without you. Sorry about that. All right, bye. Time to eat. I've decided I don't need to keep some of this stuff.
Oh no.
Where do I start? How to create an undead army. We can keep this.
That does not seem safe. So he's putting a ladder on his hedges. And he's got a chainsaw, looks like. Oh my god. Oh, somebody call OSHA. It's getting intense here. He's got a cool pink bandana.
Oh, the Portals of Torch.
Sounds like a fun
Great
one.
scenario. So I intend to keep it.
Oh god. His technique is very bad. This man is going to lose a finger. Oh, his chain popped off.
So I'll put it in storage.
Oh yeah, don't get rid of that.
I'm done.
He did not do much.
I can't win. I miss the gaming. I do. In the 3
Cut
times
those
that I've started
down.
this campaign,
You can't
I've
contain
never
them.
had anyone get all the way to the end.
Depressing.
I don't know whether it's the way I've designed it.
I've had a campaign, one campaign end is a very satisfying feeling. sad at the same time. It's hard not to drag it out. He's got a lot of storage for his collection in his garage. We're at a church. They're covering the cross with some tapestry. And singing yada yada yada. Oh, it looks Jewish?
I told him that I wanted a
I don't know.
traditional Jewish wedding.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I was right.
The rabbi
That's why they're
offered a
covering the
class
cross.
called Exploring Judaism. And this conversion process became very important to him.
Oh, he's devout.
Acceptable or acceptance? For most of my life, I have found myself trying to be acceptable to others. When I was young and in grade school, or even at home as a child, I wanted to be accepted by both of my parents. Later, when I joined the military, I wanted to be accepted and to fit in. Because of my lifelong struggle for acceptance, I can relate very well to the children of Israel as they wandered in the wilderness, seeking acceptance from a God that they could not see. They worked so mindlessly at their tasks that they had forgotten who they were. I too have sometimes forgotten, too busy with life itself to stop and listen to that voice that was leading me through this wilderness of life. Now today, and I hope and pray that the words and meditations of my heart are acceptable.
The author is watching his ninja video.
The first completed episode of Uncle Drax's Magical Clubhouse. I had no idea what I was getting into. It was just this nightmare of logistics and getting people to places. Then the editing is where I had one of my little breakdowns and realized.
Oh yeah,
more than
been
I thought
there,
it was going to be.
been there.
It didn't seem too difficult up here, and now I can't move my hand that well because I've been using a tablet for 2 weeks. Come, Lord Jesus.
Well, it's not just gonna be handed to you on a silver platter, buddy.
Amen. Been a while, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess this was pretty good.
Yeah.
The food looks gross.
I cook, I clean, I slave.
God, he's
Okay,
it's
cook.
almost an abusive relationship. He literally just punched her in the arm.
No, you
Lightly.
don't have to.
Okay.
Because we took a communications class together. It means we both understand paralinguistics and body motion. I can't answer that verbally in front of our child. Well, I think this is everyone.
He's
who was
assuming.
supposed to show up. Is this everyone who's supposed to show up? Yeah. Wow. So I'm very proud to be.
It's the people who are in the movie.
Uncle Drax's Magical Clubhouse.
Or the show.
So,
And his son and wife. They are all morbidly obese.
An army of rental ninjas, money, fame,
His
power,
art's decent.
women, everything a villain needed, including a nemesis. No matter my plan, Action Vic was there to stop me. Soon, no matter what I was trying to do. The defeats mounted. My finances were ruined. I had lost the ability to wage the war on goodness. What could a villain do but start a cable access show and try to take over the world?
I'm actually genuinely interested in this show. He's got his son doing some ninja stuff. The puppet's doing some very dirty stuff. They had an effect there that they seem to have liked. He spun around and his coat went away and he was dressed in an apron ready to cook for the cooking segment of his show. All that effort for one episode. That's the thing about creating a passion and sticking to it is that the first time you do it is going to be extremely difficult and you're going to run into a lot of issues, but over time, like, you'll get good at it, and you know, people start to like it. People appreciate it. From what I saw, it was kind of funny and enjoyable, so maybe it's good. It's a really cool poster of a dragon. Looks like at a gaming convention. Oh, it's official Dungeons and Dragons. Looks like Wizards of the Coast made it. Gen Con. Ah. Which unfortunately did not happen this year. Oh, wow. So we're coming full circle to the beginning of the... Gosh, look at all these people without masks.
Life
It's
has
insane.
A great story behind it, depending on how you live your life. I think of a lot of the world as very gray. There's a lot of people out there.
This was all before 5th edition.
But
This is
where was the
2007, looks like it was recorded.
Real greatness, you know, there's risk, there's challenge. There are things I can't reach.
I bet he's got some sort of fame from this.
But while I don't have that greatness,
Not like the fame that he probably wants,
I've got
but
a story that no one else has had before.
more than what he had.
And that is
Everybody does, bud.
something that you own.
Yes, for sure.